Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the IndieZoNe. My name is Kathy. A few of our listeners of the podcast and followers on the YouTube channel alerted us to the fact that it appeared that the case summary page had shrunk, that there were multiple dozens of pages that at the beginning of the week, this past week, were available for the public's review, and then suddenly it was stripped down to just 51 pages. I had an opportunity to review the case summary page today, and I must confirm that yes, the case summary page has indeed been slimmed down considerably to just 51 pages in total. Here are examples of just how voluminous the case summary page was recently. And why is this an issue, in my opinion? Well, because the case summary page is a running document maintained by the clerk of court in Idaho versus Kohberger. First, by the clerk in Latah County. Then, when change of venue happened in September of 2024, the clerk in Ada County. And what the clerk did is every filing that was submitted to be included into the record in Idaho versus Kohberger, this very high-profile case, where so many items were under seal, so many hearings were held behind closed doors. Every single motion, response, reply, court order, declaration, affidavit, notices of hearing, minutes, all of the filings, all of the key events of the case, from the beginning of the case, December 29th, 2022 to present, this is where everything was documented. This is where you could see the filings under seal, such as the exhibits to discovery that weren't on the public docket. They were on the case summary page. So now the question becomes, why was the case summary page slimmed down to a fraction of what it was and continued to be a very growing document, even post-closure of the case as it occurred? At the end of Mr. Kohberger's sentencing, Judge Hippler ordered that he be taken immediately that day from the Ada County Jail where he had been from change of venue September of 2024 through July 23rd of 2025 and taken immediately to the Idaho State Maximum Security Prison in Boise. So now the case summary page only has a fraction of the items that apparently, and throwing out a comment speculation here, that Judge Hippler was going to go through this long process backwards from July and June of 2025 backwards for however many of months, possibly, I'm looking at possibly up to 2 years before the court would finally reach the beginning of the case, when a lot of the warrants were issued and the evidence returned was under seal. So that's one concern. And then looking at the most recent case summary page, we had notified you a while back that the state of Idaho had disclosed in a court filing seeking restitution that Mr. Kohberger would be meeting with defense counsel that week, not having a conversation with defense counsel, i.e., over the internet or whatever technology that might be available in the jail. This specifically said a meeting. And some have wondered, did that meeting happen? What was discussed? Well, it appears that that meeting happened, because we see here that back on October 7th, 2025, there was an objection to apparently this restitution motion, but it's not on the court docket, the defense's filing. It's a public record. We know that. It's supposed to be a public record because whenever you see a PDF icon, historically, on the formerly 100 plus pages of the case summary page, PDF icon indicated that was a public record. A lock and key icon indicated it was a closed and sealed record. So what does this objection, this response to the state's motion say? We don't know. Today is October 11th. It's a Saturday. But the docket was updated on the 9th of October. And this objection wasn't released to the public that day. It wasn't released to the public on the 10th. And because it's the weekend now, the first opportunity that document's going to be released to the public is not going to be until Monday, possibly later, Monday the 13th. So in my opinion, it just seems, just as while this case was pending, and we at the IndieZoNe published a lot of content regarding the secrecy of the case. It is just as secret now, perhaps even more so, considering what's happened to the case summary page, than when it was closed. There's still documents being filed under seal. There's still items that are not being released to the public. And now we have a situation where the case summary page, with no explanation whatsoever, has been slimmed down and slimmed down considerably. I provide my opinions, my comments, speculation here, my thoughts, pursuant to the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, as we always do. If you have any thoughts, any opinions, any commentary that you would like to share with other members of the public regarding this issue, this ongoing, what appears to be, secrecy of this case, where the public for over 2.5 years was told time and time again, nope, you can't see this. This is under seal. Privacy issues. Mr. Kohberger's right to a fair trial. We need to keep law enforcement's techniques under wraps, and all of the other reasons that were given to seal items from the public for over 2.5 years. Then came this, what a lot of people felt was out of nowhere plea bargain with the voir dire, which was supposed to be the selection of the jury and the jury trial. Both canceled. Everything got canceled when Mr. Kohberger pled guilty, July 2nd, 2025. That is well over 3 months ago. If you have any comments on these issues, please leave them here. Until next time, this is Kathy. Thank you for joining us here today.